Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world, and welcome to Radio Works World. My name is Dr. Gill Barham. I am the Miracle Molecule host for Radio Works World. And today I'm having my fourth light-hearted conversation, but this is a really important one, with the amazing Danielle Serpico from Ireland. Hello.
Hi, how are you? Delighted to be here and talk to you, Jill.
Well, it's lovely to have you on the show. Is it raining in Ireland?
Actually, not today, as yet. Fingers crossed. It's good today. It's an unusual day.
Yeah, because whenever I've been to Dublin, I think it's rained every time. Well, you know, the fairies have made Ireland anyway, so you need the rain, don't you?
That's why our grass is so green over here.
It is. It's true. It really is true. It's not a myth at all. So Thank you for joining me. It's lovely to have you on my wee show. We're going to have our light-hearted conversation, but before we do, I'd like you, if you would, Danielle, to share with us a little bit about what you do, what you're passionate about, what is your work all about?
Okay, good question. So what I'm passionate about and what I do is I help you change your mind easily. So I can help to bring you from a place, from A to B, faster than maybe you could do by yourself. Sometimes we always need a little bit of guidance, a little bit of a helping hand, maybe a fresh perspective, and that's kind of what I offer throughout my coaching, mentoring. I do what I call mind coaching, so it's a little bit more layered than simply life coaching as such, because I'm using conversational hypnosis as I'm doing it. So I do that one-to-one, and obviously also in workshops, one-day events, and also go all the way through to mentorship and also to training if people want to learn more in-depthly about what I'm doing in the process, like through NLP and conversational hypnosis, that kind of thing. So that's what I do.
Fabulous. Thank you very much. That's amazing. And how long have you been doing that for, Danielle?
Okay, well, where do we begin? I won't go back into my story.
No, I don't want you to do that. I just literally want you to tell me how many years you've been doing that for.
Yeah, I have been doing this probably now for about, well, if we say professionally as this career, you could say I've been doing it all my life, or possibly since I was around 19 years of age when I opened my first business. But if we'll say in with this title as a mind coach, we could say about 8 years now.
Okay, all right, okay. So we're going to leave that there. And I'm going to give you the opportunity to talk a little bit more about business later on in the show. But actually, this show is all about you. So,
okay.
I'd like to give you and your listeners, or our listeners, a little bit of an insight as to the sort of basis of the show and why I created it. So I don't know if you are aware of a BBC Radio 4 show called Desert Island Discs. Do you know that show?
No? I don't. I watch very little television.
Yeah, no, it's a radio show. It's a radio show.
A radio show.
Yes, it's on Radio 4, and it's the longest running BBC show. It's been going for over 40 years, or maybe even 50 years. It's on a Sunday morning, and they've had about 3 different people over those years who run the show, and it has the same format every week. So every week they invite a person onto the show from any walk of life, and they give them the opportunity to choose 8 pieces of music. And through the show, they play these 8 pieces of music or excerpts from them, and they talk about those key points in their life that relate to those pieces of music.
Very good.
And then they send them off onto a desert island, a virtual desert island. They ask them to choose one of those 8, and they're allowed to take the Bible, the works of Shakespeare with them, and they're allowed to choose one other book and a luxury on the desert island. Now, it's one of my all-time favorite shows, and here's why. Because even if I've made a decision about what that person that's being interviewed is like, if I know them particularly, or I think I know what they must be like because of what they do, generally what happens through this program is that I get much more of an insight into the person behind the show.
Excellent.
And I end up learning lots more about them, and therefore I'm able to connect with them in a very different way. And so what I wanted to be able to do was to create a similar platform for people of significance, people like you that are doing amazing works in the world, to be able to create that platform so that we could take a snapshot of certain points in your life where we could have a little bit more of an insight about you and what makes up Danielle, basically, on the basis that the more we can connect with people, the more, in other words, the more people know, love and trust you, the more likely they are to come and work with you. Would you agree? Did you get that?
Yeah, you're back. You just froze for a second.
Oh, did I freeze? So basically on the connection, basically we're looking at the connection on the basis that the more people know, love and trust you, the more they are likely to come and work with you. That's what I was saying. Would you agree with that?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So 100% agree.
Yeah. So this series then, I've interviewed over 40 people now, and there are going to be 52 people that are going to be included a book that's already commissioned from this series, Light-Hearted Conversations with People of Significance, which is being launched at the Red Carpet event in November, which I'm hoping that you're going to come along to. And every one of my interviewees have been asked exactly the same questions.
Okay, wow. Okay, great.
And I know that you haven't watched any of them, so you have no idea what I'm going to ask you, do you?
No, not really, no.
And the reason for that is that I want your answers to be very spontaneous, because the more spontaneous you are, the more we understand you and the more we get to know you, really, the real true Danielle.
I feel like I'm about to do a quiz. It's so exciting. I hope I pass.
So it's a lot of fun. So just relax and go with the flow. And I will guide you through this lovely process. So the first question that I have for you is actually a scenario. So I'd like you to imagine, please, that you've gone into a very nice hotel in late morning, and you're going up to the top floor because you're going to have a very, very nice lunch. And you get into the lift or the elevator on the bottom floor. One other person gets in the lift with you. And as you're going up to the top floor, unfortunately, the lift breaks down between two floors. Now, this is bad news. And you also get some more bad news because they call you and they say, I'm sorry, you're going to be in the lift for maybe 2, possibly 3 hours at least. But I have some good news for you, Danielle. The first good news is that you have windows, so you're not going to get claustrophobic. But the second thing is that you get to choose who the other person was that got in the lift with you. So everybody that you know, or anybody that you, from history, dead or alive, who would you choose to spend 2 or 3 hours with in that lift that you could ask all the questions to that you'd ever wanted to know?
What a great question. Okay, I know immediately who I would like. If I can pick anyone from any time, any place, yes? I would pick, I know it sounds very corny, but he was my first hero ever. And maybe other people have given this answer, but he did have an effect on me because he was actually the first film that I ever seen in the cinema when I was in Italy as a child. And it had a very big impact on me. And it was the story of Gandhi. So Gandhi would be the gentleman that I would actually have in the lift with me.
Yes, well, I think that's allowed. And I'm not sure, I'm kind of guessing somebody must have said that. But, I'm not really sure if anybody has yet. If they have, it's maybe only one person. So that's quite interesting, isn't it? Now you're going to have to read the book to know who everybody else has chosen.
I will.
You will. It's fascinating. Okay, so what are you going to ask Gandhi? What do you want to know?
The reason why I would pick Gandhi is because we all say we love Gandhi and all the rest, but he really had a significant effect as a child. The second movie I ever watched in the movies was Ben-Hur with Charlton Heston, and I had a little childhood crush on him. But but Gandhi had an impact because what I loved was I was very into, even as a child, sorting problems out nice with kindness. So even then, I think it had an effect, because I had an unstable childhood, let's just put it like that. And I used to sort out my problems by helping other people with their problems, even instinctively as a little girl. As an 8-year-old, a 9-year-old, a 10-year-old little girl, I would try and sort out my parents from fighting and all this kind of stuff by distraction. So I think Gandhi was actually a master of influence. And a master, we could say a hypnotist, you know, his persuasive powers in a very, very unusual, covert, let's say, way, by using, you know, by using kindness and logic and common sense to actually solve a problem. So yeah, he had a very big effect on me. So
was he the first NLP master, maybe?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, that's it. I mean, NLP is really something that we all do every day anyhow. So we just don't always realize we're doing it, or maybe we can improve on that skill. So yeah, I think that's the way I look at Gandhi. I see he was a very, very influential. So in my opinion, he was a phenomenal hypnotist, a phenomenal NLP master, and had incredible persuasive and powers of manipulation, because I think manipulation is a phenomenal word. And it's something that I'm always stressing to people. It's not a bad word.
It's a good thing, not a bad thing.
It's a really good thing, especially, you know, when you come, in my background, I'm half speak Italian, and manipulare means to simply change something's shape, to change its shape. So it's the connotation and the ending that we put upon that word is what makes it good or bad. So I am constantly attempting and manipulating people. But it's a good thing. For good, right? For good. So exactly like Gandhi, for good. So Gandhi, I would love to spend a couple of hours in a lift with Gandhi, yes.
Okay, so fabulous. Oh, I've got some echo. I meant to ask you to put some of these in, because then I don't get the echo.
I don't have any here with me.
No, don't, fine. It's fine. We just get a slide. Okay. So the thing is that Gandhi's hungry, and because he was going to lunch too. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you the opportunity to have lunch with Gandhi in the lift. So I'm going to magic you up. Well, for Gandhi, it's probably a rug on the floor, actually, rather than a nice table with a tablecloth. But I'm also going to magic you up the food that you would like to share with Gandhi. So rather than think about what he'd like, actually, I'm really interested in what you like to eat and drink. So what's your favorite food that you'd like to share with Gandhi?
Well, actually, another great question. Wow. I'd imagine we probably have, well, I imagine, because we imagine we might have similar tastes. I would imagine, I know he was vegetarian. So I'm vegetarian, actually. So, and I was vegan for about 6-7 years up until recently. I'm kind of 95% vegan now. The odd time I would have a bit of cheese, or if I go to Italy, I will have some pizza with cheese. Yeah. But yeah, so I think our food tastes will be similar. But I actually really genuinely love good, wholesome food. Now I'm not a saint. I'm not as good as Gandhi. I would occasionally indulge in a little bit of fast, very occasionally. Vegetarian fast food. Mind you, so a bag of good old Irish chips or something is very good. But my favorite foods would be probably very Italian. I love olives. I would eat olives all day long. They're not good for dieting though.
No, but they are very good for your heart.
They are, yeah. So I love those good kind of fats foods. I love olives. I love avocados. I eat avocados. I must eat about 2 avocados a day, which probably again high in calories, but I love avocados.
No, good for your heart. Good for your heart.
Yeah,
ignore all that stuff. Ignore all that stuff. Avocados are so good for you. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so a lot of kind of unusual, maybe slightly eclectic foods. I would eat hummus, avocados, olives nearly daily. A lot of greens. I love green vegetables. I make soups all the time. I at the moment I'm on a smoothie craze because I'm working, and I actually like healthy food. What would I drink? Loads of wine. No, I'm joking. I'm joking. I only drink champagne now. Champagne is very good because I realise it doesn't give you a hangover.
That's
But
right.
but seriously, I drink very little. I drink very little. So I would probably have once a week. I go out with my partner. We go on a Sunday evening. He has his few pints, and I have a glass of Guinness with a shot of blackcurrant in it. So I have that. Or if not, I would have a glass of amaretto with ice. I love amaretto. It's a really sweet drink. A little.
So maybe Gandhi might have some amaretto. I can imagine him like. Yeah. I don't think Gandhi would like Guinness, but I can imagine him having a little bit of a shot of amaretto. I think that would.
He would like that. He would love that.
Okay, thank you very much for sharing. Okay, so now what I'd like to do is take a little snapshot, and I'd like you to share with us, please, if you would, what was going on for you, where you were living, what was happening in your life when you were 18.
Oh, wow. 18. Okay. Okay, interesting. At 18 years of age, I was in Ireland, living in Ireland, in a little village beside the sea called Greystones. And with my mother. My father was in Italy, my parents were divorced, and I had started art. I was in my second year actually in art college in Dublin, and I was doing very well in that. And I was on part-time to fund myself and put myself through college in a little pizza restaurant down in the town with my now ex-husband. He was doing the pizza deliveries and I was making the pizzas. And it was a very interesting time because very soon after that, I left art college and opened my first restaurant. So that's what I was doing in when I was 18, painting a lot of window painting, doing a lot of art. Every Christmas I had Santa Clauses and everything everywhere, and doing murals and paintings everywhere. So painting the town red.
Painting the town red. And what music were you listening to at that stage?
Oh, wow. Probably Madonna and really corny stuff. Yeah, probably stuff like, or maybe was that a little bit earlier. All the hits. I used to love pop music, a lot of pop music. So Madonna, Paul Young, all the kind of the pop hits of the time. I would buy all now that's what you call music records. Yeah. So I would have every single one of those.
You can still buy those, can't you?
Yeah, you probably can. Yeah, now on CD. Absolutely.
Okay, so that was 18. And were you in Dublin at the time, did you say?
I was outside of Dublin, south of Dublin, about 20 miles south of Dublin in a little Greystones.
All right, okay. Right, so now what we'd like to do is take you to 35. So...
I'm not 35 yet.
What were you doing, and what was happening for you at 35?
Oh wow! Now that's a big one. Okay, 35 years of age. I was just about to go bust. So I had 4 businesses, 3 restaurants, and a gift shop, and there was real trouble. It was 2008. And the recession was in full swing in Ireland, and I was suffering tremendously at this stage. I'd gone through a divorce that year. My 2 dogs, my babies, my 2 dogs, giant Newfoundlands had just died. And I was just about to hit my rock bottom, and I was not in a good way. I was in a really, really bad state inside my head at that point. So yeah, it wasn't a good year for me. 2008, when I was 35, was a very, very bad year for me. So
it's really interesting, Danielle, because of all the people that I interview, I would say a good 90%, maybe even higher, that 35 is a pivotal time of their life. And it's not something that they would think about, but when I ask them about 35, they go, oh, yeah, that was when that happened. And it's always something very pivotal, very large, very significant that for most people that has paved their future, basically, or something very dramatic has happened. It's really interesting because I just plucked 35 out of the air. I didn't really know what I was doing, to be honest, but it's really interesting to hear those stories of that 35-year-old you.
Very interesting, yeah. Yeah, well, it wasn't a good year. It was a bad year.
And I know that because I know your story and I know what happened and how bad it got for you. So you know, people can connect with you, and I know that you tell your story at your events and your workshops and things, and it's really very powerful, and also in your book as well. In fact, Marina has shared the link. Marina's great to have in the background here because she shared the link to your Black Belt Mastermind Ultimate Fighter Mindset ebook. Oh, she shared your ebook on here as well.
Okay.
So so that link's up on the screen at the moment. I'm going to take it off because it's masking your lovely face, but people will be able to see that as well. Okay, so thank you.
As a hard book as well. Obviously, it's available as a hard book or an ebook, whichever you.
Okay, great. Okay, so we're going to have a quick fire round now.
Okay, I'm ready.
So this is a kind of either or thing. So are you, I think I know this one, are you a girl that prefers radio or TV?
Well, I know what you would say because I do it, but I don't know, it's a good question. I suppose I'll go with radio because I do radio, and I haven't done TV. Well, I have done TV actually. I'm
looking for what you want to listen to rather than what you prefer as a medium. So what would you choose?
Then I would go with radio because I listen to radio a lot more than watch TV. I actually listen to radio a lot. So yeah, radio.
Radio. Okay. Non-fiction or fiction?
Fiction. Though I like non-fiction as well. But fiction, get my imagination going.
Yes. The creative soul that you are. Yeah. Are you the oldest, middle or youngest child?
Technically I'm the youngest because my mum and my dad had myself and my sister, so I'm the youngest in that sense. But my dad went on to remarry and have 2 more daughters, so which I also consider. I'm in the middle, really. Yeah.
So you are a middle child, really, aren't you?
Yeah.
Yes, you would say. Yeah. Okay. And at school, so maybe after the age of sort of 12 or 13, were you a goody two shoes? Were you the class clown? Were you under the radar, or were you a bit of a handful?
Do I have to answer that question?
Yes, you
do. I wasn't a goody two shoes. I don't know if I was a class clown, but I was probably a bit of a handful. Yeah, I was spending a lot of my time, don't tell the teachers now, but on the hop.
On the hop. Playing hooky or whatever you call it.
Yes. Yeah, playing. We call it on the hop over here.
Oh, do you?
Yeah.
I can't remember what we used to call it. It'll come to me. There you go. I've learned something. It'll come to me.
It'll come back.
Okay. And what would you say is your best habit?
My best habit? Okay. My best habit is noticing the beauty in others.
That is a good habit. I love that. And so what is your worst habit?
Oh, wow. Okay. My worst habit. There's so many. That's putting me on the spot. Worst habit, not doing enough exercise.
Okay, yeah.
Right. Not doing enough.
And yeah, easily done, isn't it? Especially when you're busy. And what do you do to relax?
I lost you there.
Did you miss me? What do you do to relax?
What do I do to relax? Okay. Oh, wow. So much. I like to go out for, well, actually, I just said I don't like to do exercise. Well, I didn't say I didn't like to do exercise, so I don't do it enough.
Just you don't do enough.
But what I do to relax, my favorite thing is to go out with my dogs, walking my dogs. Yeah. That's my relaxation. But listening to music, reading, art, painting, writing, all of those.
All of the above. Okay. And, I'm not sure if you know this about me, but my first big passion and my big talent is singing. So I played classical guitar from when I was 8, and I studied singing at university, and I still sing now. I've sung in various classical, but also in bluegrass country, and I play the Bowen actually.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. I session twice a week, and I love my Bowen. And anyway, do some Irish music and bluegrass. So if I was on stage, Danielle, and I dragged you up on stage with me, what would your choice of karaoke song be?
Something like "Sisters Are Doing It for Themselves." My singing abilities.
Is that Sister Sledge? No.
I think
who
that.
Is that?
I think it's
Who is it?
no, I don't remember the name of the group or the girls. I'll have to look it up.
Yeah,
it'll probably come back.
It will come back to you. It will come back to you.
Back.
Okay, all right. So that completes our quickfire round. I have another scenario for you now. So
okay.
I need to explain a little bit of a background of this one too. So a couple of years ago, my husband and I went off to America. We've been married for 35 years.
Congratulations. Fabulous.
And we went to a wedding, actually, of a friend in Yellowstone Park a couple of years ago. And we had a holiday planned for us around it for the whole month. We had a travel consultant who booked the hotels, booked the flights, and it was really lovely because it was totally stress-free. We hired a car. We did 3,300 miles in a month and 8 states. And the whole time we were away, we didn't have one crossword. So I'd like to know, if I send you away with no stress and strains and everything's taken care of, who would you choose to take with you that you could spend a month with without a crossword?
Oh, who could I bring away with me for a month without having a crossword? I'd like to say my partner, but I
don't
wonder.
Have to.
That's hilarious. Is this a fictional character as well,
no,
or
actually a person? You know.
I can't bring Gandhi with me,
no.
Okay. A character that I could spend a month with without having a crossword. Okay, well, I would like to say my partner, that we probably would have if we spent all the time, because we have a passionate relationship, love-hate relationship. No, we love each other. But
yeah, so that's not going to work. That's not going to work. So you need to choose somebody else.
I would pick probably my best friend Katrina, because we haven't spent as much time as I would like to spend with her. So to spend a month away with her, we've never fought really. So I know we'd really get on very well. It'd be like Thelma.
Hopefully Katrina will be watching. Katrina, post under here and tell everybody how people have chosen as her.
The great woman.
As a holiday guest. Okay, perfect. All right, now so this radio series, this radio show, is being transcribed into a book as we speak. I am on the case. The book is called Your Heart Matters, Light-Hearted Conversations with People of Significance. It's already commissioned. The foreword is already written by the amazing Marina Nani. And this book is being launched in November at the Red Carpet Stardust Awards. And I know that you've been nominated for an award, so congratulations. And we're hoping that you're going to come along and share that day with us, or that weekend with us. And bring your friends, because it's just the most amazing red carpet event. You have to wear glitter. It is absolutely the law on the Sunday. It is the only time that you really, really, really get to push the boat out and wear as much glitter and sparkle as you possibly can. It's fantastic, because you're not out of place. So anyway, so that's the launch of the book. And then in October next year, this book is going on tour. It's going around the world in 80 days on the Jules Verne journey. I don't know if you know that. So basically, October, yeah, you're aware of that. So October the 2nd, it starts in London, and then it goes to Egypt, Bombay, Calcutta, Hong Kong, Shanghai, Yokohama, San Francisco, New York, Bordeaux, and Cobb in Ireland, actually, and ends up back in London on about December the 21st. And that's going around with the Ben Salmi family. So the book, the physical book, is going around. And if anybody, any of the authors, the co-authors around, you can go and sign your copy of the book. So I wanted to leave a legacy from these amazing interviews that I'm creating. But I also wanted to create a legacy, a music legacy, because music is very important to me. So I'm doing a playlist which will accompany the book. And I'm asking each of my invitees to choose one song that makes them feel light-hearted to be included in my playlist. So what would that be?
A song to make you feel light-hearted. Okay, and really the names of songs. Well, my theme tune, it's not really light-heart song that pops to mind. It's more motivational and kind of inspirational. Would be the theme from Rocky.
Okay.
I the Tiger, because it's very upbeat and it's very much a kind of a song that gets you wanting to take action and move.
I'm very happy to have that on my playlist. Yes, I am more than happy to have it because it's one of my favourite things as well. And I get the motivation side of it, and I think that would be a great thing to include. So thank you very much.
Brilliant, brilliant.
Okay, so my last question before we round up is now really to do with my current passion, or my resurgence of my passion, which is all to do with health and well-being and vitality. I'm known as the Vitality Queen. My book is, which you've got, haven't you? Is called The Heart of a Woman.
Yes.
How to look after the heart.
We have your book, yeah, it's brilliant. Yes, it's beautiful.
So in that book, I'm really focusing on helping women to understand how to look after their physical heart, but also how to look after the heart that they give to the world. In other words, their emotional and their spiritual the heart from that perspective as well. So what I'd like to ask you, Danielle, is how you look after your heart from those two perspectives. The physical heart, so what do you do physically to look after yourself, which you said a little bit about, but also what do you do to protect yourself? What do you do spiritually and emotionally too?
Okay, lovely question. I really like it. And actually it's a very it has a lot of meaning for me, that question, because because 5 years ago, my partner actually had a quadruple bypass. So, and he was very healthy. He's a martial arts teacher as well, you know, as myself. And he was always very healthy, always ate healthily, you know, didn't really drink, doesn't smoke, all of that. But he had a quadruple bypass for genetic reasons. So it was a very big wake-up call for us both on on looking after our heart. So after that, we really started to pay more attention to it. So physically, as I already mentioned, I do eat fairly healthily.
80-20 is good.
Yeah, I eat vegetables all the time, you know, so cutting down on the carbs, you know, like the bread and that kind of stuff, and wanting to weight. But, you know, I would eat very healthily. I don't really eat, you know, junk food really, or fried food or anything like that. So I eat a lot, drink a lot of water. I don't really drink, really. As I said, I'd have a glass of something a week, if even. So physically, I think I'm fairly tuned into it. Obviously, exercising as much as I possibly can. I would be active in the sense.
Do you take any supplements, Danielle?
I go through phases of taking those and then not taking any, forgetting. So at the moment, I'm doing a lot of shakes. I have a Nutri-Bullet, so I make a lot of. I'm gone wild on those. So I would make an awful lot of smoothies for myself, and in that I would put stuff in it. Like I use a lot of protein powder, because obviously I'm vegetarian. So I would use hemp protein or pea protein or that kind of stuff inside it. Different things like that. I would put a lot of stuff on my cereal in the morning if I was having cereal, like linseed, very good for your heart, right?
Very good.
So good omegas, so good omegas. You know, as I said, avocado. So I would eat a lot of good omegas. I'd be very conscious of the oils I'm using. So I have about 5 or 6 different types of oils there that I would use for different things. Very, very scarcely, very, very minimal. So physically,
well, I've got something interesting to tell you about that, because in fact I need to write the article about it, because there's a heart surgeon who actually in America that stopped being a heart surgeon to teach people how to eat, and despite popular thought, he views food as a reason for eating olive oil. In his view, the reason that people are healthy in places like Greece and in certain parts of Italy is that they will eat or consume a litre of oil a week. And he said, as far as he's concerned, which is about 6 tablespoons a day, basically, or 6 tablespoons at every meal. And he said, as far as he is concerned, food is only there for you to be able to get good quality olive oil in your body, because that's what the body really needs. So, actually those really good omega fats that you're talking about, like avocados, and actually one of the advantages of the Mediterranean diet is actually that high olive oil, cold pressed olive oil.
Good.
We should have. So that's sorry. You just made me think of that. So yeah, okay. So now in terms of
which is great. I'm very happy with that, because
go for it.
To eat my olive oil and eat my olives. That's great. Good to know.
Go for it. Yeah. Don't hold back, girl. You're fine. It's official. Okay. So in terms of your emotional heart, then.
Okay, and that also is an extremely important part, possibly maybe even more important at times. It's which came first, the chicken or the egg. It's both of them equally. So emotionally and looking after my heart health in that aspect, every day I would meditate. Now I don't really necessarily always meditate from the point of mindfulness to make my mind blank. I would often do a kind of a guided visualization, which for me is a form of meditation. So I would often talk to myself like a crazy person and ask myself questions, because this is something I would teach people as well, because when you ask questions, obviously you're directing the mind to go somewhere. So I would do a lot of guided visualizations by starting off by asking myself questions and bringing myself then to a really good place that I would like to be, and imagining myself there and noticing what I see, what I hear, what I feel, and getting myself into that really, really good state. So I would do a lot of that. I practice gratitude, but I also practice gratitude in advance, again for the same reason, because I believe in conditioning my mind to look for the opportunities, to have spotted them having passed. So I would train my mind to look for the things that I've already said that morning I'm going to be grateful for. And that keeps me feeling good, because again, if we're talking about heart health, when I confirm, oh yeah, I was going to feel happy drinking this glass of water this afternoon, then I feel happiness when I'm drinking that glass of water. So it eases tension, stress, all of those type of things. So again, I would practice being in a certain state mentally in advance. Okay, I'm planning for if there are any obstacles or any difficult moments throughout the day, how am I going to handle them in advance? So I believe that really helps me for when I'm in that moment. I also would take time out regularly to, as I said, I don't watch television very often. Maybe once a week with my partner, we'd sit down and watch some things we've recorded. That's about it. But besides that, I would paint. Painting for me is a form of meditation. When I paint, I'm completely in another world. So I would paint, I would write, and yeah, I would do those sort of things. I would breathe, practice breathing. In my book, actually, in the Black Belt Mastermind, there's a secret page that you get access to through the book, and there's a secret page that also teaches you how to breathe correctly, because obviously my background also is martial arts, which is why the Black Belt Mastermind. So I have a couple of Tai Chi Qigong exercises which teach you how to breathe correctly. So breathing is very important for your heart also, to keep yourself in the right state. So it's all about state. I believe if my mental state is happy and my body, then my heart will understand that and kind of go with it.
I absolutely agree. And there is this amazing heart-brain connection, gut-brain connection. We are much more than it's all about the sum of the parts, basically, and having that beautiful alignment and looking after all three is so important. I've really enjoyed our light-hearted conversation. I hope you have too.
I have. It's been great. I really enjoyed it. It was very
really enjoy it.
Quiz.
But before we go, thank you for sharing everything and being so open and honest. And I know a lot of people will want to connect with you. So what I'd like you to do now is give us the opportunity to learn a little bit about what's coming up for you. If you've got any courses, online courses, any events coming up, I'm going to drop a couple of links here underneath the screen here so that people can connect with you, your Facebook page, and also a website as well. So whilst I'm doing that, if you wouldn't mind sharing with us a little bit about what you're excited about.
Sure, I'm always excited for new things coming up. But yeah, there's a load of stuff coming up. So over here in Ireland, I am doing my regular, I mean, obviously my coaching all the time. So if people want to connect with me for mentorship or one day event, a lot of people would come over and do one day with me, one-to-one, where I do what it's called a walk the talk, where we go for a walk. And the reason why we go for a walk is because when you're walking, your conscious mind is distracted, which means I can kind of get my foot in the door a little bit easier and access your own without you being fully aware of that. So I do that type of mentorship and coaching. So if you'd like to get in touch about that, we can work that way. Otherwise, of course, I have lots of events. I have, I over here in Ireland, I'm always giving different free little workshops and talks. I'm going to be in Waterford for the Wellbeing Show for 3 days in the end of October. On the bank holiday weekend, Saturday, Sunday and Monday, and I'll be talking and doing workshops there. So the Wellbeing Show in Waterford in Ireland. And then I will be doing, getting ready for some meetup groups. I have a meetup group, the Dublin Mastermind group in Ireland as well. So I do regular talks in that. So I have a few events coming up and talks over with that. So the Dublin Mastermind group. And then I also have starting next year, I'll be having my one-day boot camp, which is a very transformational day, and also my NLP training. So my NLP training will be coming up in March, starts on the 3rd of March, I think it is.
It's my birthday!
Happy birthday! Okay, good day. Okay. So so we're going to have a 7-day training with that's very intensive. The whole reason, again, to tire out that conscious mind, so it goes in subliminally. So we'll have that on, and next year I'll also be bringing it to Italy in September. And then also, what I'm talking about we'll be doing with Marina. We're going to be doing a wonderful event in January over in London as well. So a 2-day event, sprinkling. She'll be sprinkling her stardust.
Yeah.
And my Black Belt Mastermind stuff. So we'll be doing a 2-day event also to change people's minds. And then also Marina will take them a little bit further and do all her special stuff as well to bring people on. So there's so much. It's all on my website as well. So you can find out everything.
Put your website up there now. Your website link is there for people to connect with you. And you run a radio show too, don't you?
I host, I have 2 radio shows. I do a radio show for the last couple of years with Charity Radio, which is an online radio station in Ireland, a very busy radio station with lots and lots of different volunteers. So that's in Walkinstown in Dublin, and that show is Mastermind, and that's every Monday night from 9 to 11 p.m. So I do that, and then also I do
there's lots of craziness watching.
Well, we do a lot of
I tuned in last Monday.
Yeah, I had Lizzie there. Lizzie I was interviewing Lizzie. You met Lizzie and Ashley there over in London. She was being interviewed last week, so we had a great and she was at my training as well, so she did the NLP training, which she loved. And so every week I would have a different guest, which I would interview and talk to, and we have a lot of fun on that show. So that's a great one. We do a lot of Facebook Lives. As well as that, I have a show on Dublin City FM, which has a listenership of about 150,000 people.
Wow.
And I do that, yeah. So it's a very busy show, great radio station, Dublin City FM, 103.2. And I would do a show there called Mind Matters every Friday morning at 11 a.m. Mind Matters. So that's all about mental health, mindset, in adversity, how to have a positive, more beneficial mindset. And again, I would interview somebody every Friday morning on that subject as well.
Cool.
I think we've frozen.
Oh no, I'm okay. Are you okay?
Little bit frozen. I think you're back. You're back.
Am I back? Well, I got all of that, so I'm hoping everybody else did too. So lots going on, lots to connect with Danielle about. She's a very busy and accomplished woman. So please do make sure that you connect with her through the links that I've just posted on here. Thank you, my lovely, for sharing your afternoon, a bit of your afternoon with us, and for helping us sprinkle your stardust in the world. I hope to see you in November on the red carpet with your very, very posh, sparkly frock. And say goodbye to everybody. Say goodbye.
Bye, everybody. Thank you so much for tuning in. Okay, lovely to talk to you.
Yeah, it's lovely to talk to you. Okay, my lovely. And we'll speak soon.
We'll speak to you. Thank you very much, Jill. Bye.
Yeah,
Bye.
it's a pleasure.